included something that I thought was like over the top, or something that she really wanted, and I was like, well, maybe not this time. But Dad would swoop in and make it happen.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
her, that was their special moment, and
Moment. Yeah.
and
Celebration.
so every time her birthday comes up, I think about that because I know that's on her mind, that he's not here.
Okay. And for my daughter, it was more. She was getting ready to graduate from high school, and you got a tissue. You making me get a tissue because that was a big thing for her.
Mm-hmm.
Graduating from high school, and when she made the co-captain of the drill team, because he had already told her that he wanted her to go and try out for it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she made it, he wasn't here to celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very hard for her, and then she cried. Oh my God. She cried.
Mm-hmm.
She cried. He wasn't here. I'm trying to get my voice back up. Because he wasn't here for her to see it. And then when she graduated with all these honors and from high school. He wasn't there. So those two big milestones were really, really hard on us as a family and hard on my daughter.
Because you plan, you plan for those. You plan the day that your child is born. You both plan to be here.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And she was, for her to graduate, from high school and, with all the honors and, all the hard work that she put in and we put in and, for him. Now, it was hard on me too, because we had already talked about it. We had already talked about, we were going to take her to Hawaii for her graduation, for a graduation present, because that's something she wanted to go, somewhere she wanted to go. And so we had already planned it and everything. And so for us to have to walk through that journey,
together without
to walk through it, without him, it was very, very hard.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult because those that are listening, I'm sure you realize when that child is born and you hold that baby in your arms, you both plan out. It's like a fast pace, like from this day to when this child has their own child, they get married, all of that, like it's a fast forward of their life, and you plan like, okay, we're going to be together. We're going to raise this child. The child is going to go to school. I'm going to be there for the first dance. I'm going to be there for their graduation. I'm going to be there when they get their degree. I'm going to be there when they get proposed, all of those things.
Driver's license.
And so when I think about the whole activities and everything and how involved he was when it came to their activities, when Erica was running track, he got up early in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m. to train her before she went to school and to run with her. And when she played volleyball, he would leave work early so he can catch the games. And I was told that he went into the locker room and gave a whole this encouraging, inspirational pep talk, to all of the girls. And how did you?
Wow.
What are you doing? And he was just so involved when it came to Amira wanting to dance and ballet, and he wanted to send her to the best of the best, if that's what she wants to do. And so he was involved with preparing her for dance class and dropping her off and picking her up and all of those things. And when she got on the volleyball team, he was there on the side coaching her. Although she probably would have rather him be silent, but of course be there, because he had this loud voice that just penetrated the whole gym. But he was just so involved in all aspects of their life, the activities and stuff. And so, those that are listening, your kids care. Like, be there. Be there for those moments. And I know life gets busy and work and all of those things, but these are the things that kids can look back on and say, you were there, you supported. And it,
Right.
Unfortunately, if some unfortunate circumstance happens, as we're talking, they have those moments. So yes, it is important that you be there, that you show up, that you support them, because life,
Right. I agree.
life can quickly change. And so, we always say, well, the next time I'll do it, the next time I'll be there the next time. And
you might not get a next time.
You may not get a next time. You may not get a next time. Mm-hmm. So, even for those important things, like you were bringing up driving. Wow, that's something that now, well, I taught Erica, but my oldest, and I'm teaching Amira now, but he was a significant part in teaching our oldest. But you were talking about the driving. Did you teach her to drive, or did your husband?
No, actually, that was something I think, wow, God had a plan. I have to say that, because he had already started teaching her how to drive before she even turned 16.
Yeah.
And I was so thankful, because while he was teaching her, I was like, hey, why are you trying to teach her now? She's too young to learn how to drive, wait. But it just seemed like everything just lined up, because there was not only been something I would have tried to do, but he was able to do it. He taught her how to drive. I can remember him they in the driveway trying to pull out, and she barely could see, so he put pillars under her and ran. I think she was like 14, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was maybe 14.
So that's why they do that whole lap driving. When they're like waiting for you in a shopping plaza, and they go, okay, I'm gonna just put the child on my lap and just take them for a couple of spins. That's probably
right.
Burned me up.
Right. And I can just remember that, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that he did what he wanted to do to teach her how to drive. And she learned. Basically, all I had to do was take her to go to the driving school so she can get a beginner, so she wanted to drive, before she got age, when she got 16. So we was able to do that, and she passed. She passed, and oh my goodness, there was another tearjerker, because there was another milestone.
I'm doing it here.
Driver's license. Yeah.
And when you talk about life preparation and how it has a funny way of actually like doing things, but you don't, lining up, and you don't realize that, that's actually life preparation. It reminds me of a story. And when you said how, you're like, why are you doing that? How mothers sometimes kind of get in that way because we have that fear, or it's not time yet. And it just reminded me of, we lived in Silver Spring, Maryland before we moved to Texas, and Erica was about 9 years old. And Z had taught her to swim, but, just doggy paddle, things like that, the basics, and she was swimming in about 5 feet of water, comfortably. And we lived like on the 5th or 6th floor of this building. And I'm looking out the window, but I can see the swimming pool. And I saw Z toss our 9-year-old into 12 feet of water.
Wow.
I'm like, my face is on the window screaming like, no, And he obviously had a conversation with the lifeguard, because the lifeguard is still sitting, he's at the edge of his seat, but he's just sitting. And then I see Erica go down in the water and then pop back up and then start doggy paddling to the side. And Z is like coaching her on and cheering on. And I'm like, I get down and I'm like, babe, why did you do that? Why did you throw her 12 feet? She's never swum 12 feet. He said, I prepared her for 12 feet. She can swim. I prepared her for this moment. He said, I knew if you were here, you would have prevented her. She would have been fearful, because you would have put that fear in her and you would have stopped me. He said, but I knew also if I jumped in with her, she would have depended on me to grab her and bring her back to the side. He said, but I'm right here. And he was, a certified lifeguard for many, many years. So he knew that, I can do this, and he was confident in his training. I do not recommend this. I do not recommend this type of I guess, training for anyone,
Training.
but this is how fathers train. And so Erica, that she's that child of ours that's very fearless. She take risks,
Yes, it is.
right? She's this entrepreneur. She's this, I can do it myself. She can do it. She'll jump out there without that safety net. And I remember having a conversation with him one time, and he said, I have no one to blame but myself. I was like, why you say that? He said, because when I think about how I raised Erica and doing things like that, to prepare her for independence, he said it was just like kind of like pushing that baby bird out its nest, and baby, you got to fly, And so he goes, I have no one else to blame but myself, because that's how I prepared her. And so when you look at those moments, like, they're significant. They have their own way of teaching their children than I think a mother does. Because we're that nurturer, that emotional person, right? I would have never thrown her in 12 feet.
I'm just going to say, when you were talking about the swimming, the exact same thing. Maya was even younger, but he didn't throw her in there when he wanted her to learn how to swim. I don't know how to swim. And so I was like, no, baby, no, she can go later. No. Every Saturday, he had a cousin that had a pool. So every Saturday, they would go and swim. He would teach her, and I couldn't go because he said, you're going to be saying no. You're going to be crying and telling me, don't do this, don't do that. No, you could not go. And when she learned how to swim, that's when they let me come. They let me come and let me see. And he wanted to build a swimming pool at the house because she wanted a swimming pool. And so that was one of the biggest things. Okay. And I kept saying, okay. And once again, don't keep putting it off. And we never got a chance to build it because I kept saying, okay, we'll do it. But we never did. So he just bought pools. I could count how many pools we had bought that go, outside above the ground.
Never put off tomorrow what you can do today.
Yes. And then I remember she went to the Y. She went to the Y. And what you call it, the guppies. And they were so amazed at how she already could swim. It's because the guppy, that was for me, not for him. Because he was like, she already knows how to swim. But if that's what you want her to do, that's fine. And I was like, okay. So, so he had already taught her. And they was like, wow, why, what she's here for, why is she here?
Swimming was a big deal. Yeah. Well, swimming was a big deal to prepare them because they're like, no, my child's not drowning. But swimming was a big deal to Zenoran's family. And he did little baby guppy or whatever at the YMCA. He did that with the mirror too. I wasn't getting in because of, my hair every Saturday. But he would jump in there with the mirror and taught the mirror to swim. And her and Alana, our granddaughter, they're swimming today because of him. And they can swim in 12 feet. But
I know. I can remember when Alana and Mira was so small and we would go over there to your house. Yeah. And remember they would go and they would swim. And I was like, they could swim. Yeah.
Girl, they fit their fish.
You remember that? Little swimming. Yeah.
In the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of his
definitely
favorite
things. Definitely a milestone.
Right. So when you look at your child swimming, you say, look at that. Because of him.
I do.
It's a lot of things, right?
Because of him.
It's a lot of things. You look at your children and you look at your children and you say, had he not been in her life, for the time that he was here, she would probably not be able to do that. Career planning.
Or would have been a different route to do it.
Yeah. Or because I wasn't going to teach her to swim. But like career planning, when I think about those things, as my youngest is in 11th grade and yours is much older, have graduated college. Yes. Yay, Maya.
Yes, I know, right?
But, even planning that career in the direction that, they take throughout high school and having that influence in their lives. I was not I didn't do the schedule. I think I said that in an earlier episode where I'm those things that I miss and that I wasn't really I had some part in it, right? Doing the final, I guess inputting in the computer or whatever, but I didn't sit down and look at the career chart and say, okay,